Hi guys, Jalapeno Gal here, back after the holidays and excited to color. I got this poster a while back on this gnome village that I just fell in love with, and I've been working on it the last couple days. So I wanted to share with you how I do these mushroom tops because I've been posting on Facebook and everybody seems to really enjoy them. So I'm just gonna run through how to do this mushroom. If I can get it's a little well, mushroom well. Okay, got the video all set in place, so let's go ahead and begin on this. So what I've done is gone ahead and colored in the top on the base, and I'm using Prismacolors. I use 3 reds. I use Tuscan, Crimson, and Crimson Red. Oh, excuse me. Crimson Red, Crimson Lake, and Tuscan Red. And I started off with the base of the Crimson Red. And then what I do is I just kind of come in and I start darkening up the edges and the small areas, and I kind of, just picture to myself where I want the light to come in. On this mushroom over here, it's coming this way, so I'm going to leave this area a little lighter as I go. And let's get you some birds here. So I come along and in little circles I apply some harder pressure along the edges with the same color that I use on the background, Crimson Red. See if we can get this little guy to come to life. As I'm going up the mushroom top to where I want the light to hit, I soften up the pressure on the pencil. So down here I've got a little bit harder pressure to make it darker, and then as I go to the top I get lighter with my pressure, so I kind of get a gradual fade. I hope you can see how it gets lighter as we go up. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the Crimson Lake, which is a shade darker than the Crimson Red. And again, I start off at the bottom in the corners. Smear that. When I work on big things like this, or even, smaller books, and I jump around on the page, I like to put a piece of paper underneath my arm so I don't smear any of the work I've already done on my hand or arm, or take away any of the pigment, because it'll lift up off the page until you use a workable fixative or a final fixative. And the fixatives just hold your color on the paper. It's almost like you're spraying on hairspray. I'll put a link in the description box to some so you guys can check it out. I used to put a piece of tracing paper on every page that I colored so that the pencil didn't transfer to the next page. The workable fixative is much easier. So you can kind of see how it's gradually, it goes from dark to medium to light up top, and the light up top is where the light's coming through the trees. And I'm avoiding the white circles because we're going to do those with the white jelly roll. So I'll fold right there, so I'm going to go in darker to show that there's depth in there. Again, just like with the first color, I lighten up the pressure as I get toward the top, but I don't lighten it up so much that it's really not having an effect. Just a little. It may look like I am going over areas I just did with the little darker red, but or lighter red, but as you can see, all that does is blend it so that it looks like it's even and not. Yeah, dark patch here, light patch here, it fades it together. I'm not going to touch this side too much with the darker reds because we won't need that. As our light source. I'm not used to explaining what I'm doing as I go. When I come around the bottom here, I do apply a hard pressure. I don't want to, smush it in to where I can't work my darker color on top because there's no more groove in the paper to add color. But I want to get it dark enough to where you can tell that's where my edges are. And there's no right way or wrong way to do this. You decide where you want it to be lighter and darker, and just go from there. Okay, and then last I'm going to come in with the Tuscan red, which is a really deep red. I don't know if you can see that. It's almost brown, but it's not. And again, I start off with the edges because that's where I want the dark. Just to give it that last little effect. Now, I do use a blending pencil and marker in a lot of my work, and you can see that in some of the other videos, but on things like this, I don't really like to use it a whole lot and smooth it out, because a mushroom is not just, you know, a lot of mushrooms are smooth, but these red ones tend to not be. They have like grooves and things in them that gives it texture. So a lot of times I'll just leave it like this and let the white come through and give it that grainy look. I think I'm going to come through a little bit of black on the underside here where these little grooves are. Give it that layered look, like it's sitting on top of something. Yeah, I think I like that. What do you guys think? Okay, oop. And then I'll come through, when I have white spots on things like this, I use a white jelly roll. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Make sure the lid is flowing, and I'll come back in and fill it for that pop, so it doesn't just look like I left the paper white. It gives it a little bit of texture. It's kind of, jelly rolls are kind of like gel pens, I guess. I guess they are gel pens, but Costco has this really good deal on gel pens right now. I think you get 100 Tech Writer pens for $19.99, which is super cheap. I've got 2 sets, so I have a backup. I don't know how long they're going to have that sale. And a lot of people try to buy them online at Costco, and they can't do it. It doesn't show up on Costco's website. So you literally have to go to their store. So you would need a Costco membership or go with somebody that has one. My friend had a gift card to Costco, so when you get a gift card, you don't have to be a member, and she took us up there. And then Susan Allen on Facebook, she bought some, kind lady, she bought some for a lot of people and shipped them off. And there's the mushroom top. I like it. I think, hold on, just let me come back in here a little bit. I'm seeing kind of a hard line instead of a fade through here. Yeah, that's better. And that's the top. So next I'm going to show you what I do with the bottom part of the well that looks like stone and concrete. On this I use slate gray, cool gray at 90% and 70%, and black. And I've already gone in and colored in this background, so you don't have to sit here and watch me do that, because that's probably the least detailed in the stone or well wall. I come back in and darken it up a little bit, but okay. So what I'm going to do is start off with my cool gray, and I'm going to come in just like I did with the red up there, and I'm going to do a very light lay down for my base. I always do my lightest color on the bottom, and then come in with my shadows on top. Unless I'm blending, then I like to start off with darks. going to do next is come in with the 90% cool. I think. Let's see. No. I'm going to come in with a little bit more slate around the edges on the outside. This is my slate gray on top of the cool gray. Leaving the center light and just coming on the outside a little bit to darken up the edges. And I'm going to come in with my 90% cool gray and do the same thing, but not come out as far with the slate gray. This technique works for pebbles, rocks, stones like this. I do a lot of Joanna Basford stuff, and she's got a new one called Lost Ocean. And there's a lot of underground or underwater scenes in that one, so this works really well for the pebbles and the rocks underneath the water. Darker pressure on the outside, lighten up as you work inwards. And then I'll come through with some straight black and hit these corners and come out lightly. May even as wide as possible come over that center, just to give it a little bit of texture. And there's stone number one. Do another one. Slate gray, which is the same gray we used on the outside. Work it towards the center. But remember, you don't want to work it all the way to the center. You want to keep that light. Cool gray, 90%. Those edges. Again with my black. A lot of people are scared to use black, but it's really not that bad. And it brings life to the picture if you use it in the right places for shadows. Makes all the difference in the world between a flat leaf and a leaf sitting on top of another leaf. Let's see. Okay, let's work on that bucket. And really, a lot of people use multiple color browns and tans in wood, and it looks great. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's just simple. Dark brown and light brown. Might start off, you know, light base, just like with everything else. Or excuse me, this is light umber, not light brown. For water, a lot of times I'll use that slate gray. Or no, I think I use blue. Blue slate instead of slate gray. Yeah, I can't find it right now. I can't find it right now, but there's a color I think called blue slate that works really well for water. I'll put you on pause here in a minute and see if I can find it. Light umber, and then I'll come in with dark brown. Same technique as the stone. Start off in the corners and work my way out. If you don't use a blender on this, then it'll still have that grainy effect like wood. Lines. Might come back in with a sepia. Okay, I found the blue slate. for the rope that holds the bucket up, I'm going to come in with the sand color. I'm going to come back in with my dark brown and kind of define each one of those wraparounds. A little bit of shading here and there. Okay, so I finished the little gnome water well, and I just wanted to show you a couple other things that I've done on here. Sorry for the dizziness, but there's the toadstool with the snail and the frog, and that's my turtle. Some little psychedelic mushrooms, but I'm going to widen this out and show you this whole poster. It's amazing, and I will put a link in the description box. Oh, I forgot my little hedgehog corner. I will put a link in the description box to this poster if you are interested in it and you want to purchase it. It has some crazy detail in this poster, and it will take you some time, but I think in the end it's going to really be worth it. So I hope you continue to watch my videos and have fun coloring. Bye guys.